begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
So anyway.
Yes, I think that probably just doesn't fit their narrative. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I've always focused
Right.
on
Hold on. Let me see what the hell it's doing.
When we found out our son had autism, his future.
Yes, when I'm teaching, that happens all the time. I think I turn the video off.
Right.
And then Satan comes in and hits the play button. So
Right.
It's really not you, it's the Dark Prince, and I think you need to keep that in mind.
Gotcha.
So I think that there is I think that one of the problems that Trump has had is, I think because he does talk off the cuff, which I don't think in our lifetime we saw that from a president, right?
Not much, right.
You know, so that was kind of his thing, good, bad, or indifferent. I think when he gives a speech like that, where he is more presidential, to put it mildly, I just think they blow it off because they don't want that to be part of the narrative.
Well, that's everything you want out of a president. He said exactly what is true. You know, I mean, he did fight as hard as he could. He didn't concede, and you know, the media narrative has been that there's been no evidence of corruption in the election, and that's not true. It's never true in the United States. We're such a vast country, and we have pockets of corruption in Louisiana, in New York, in Philadelphia, and even Detroit, where they didn't allow some of the voters or the observers to observe the vote count. And why would they not do that? I mean, is it corruption? Well, it sure smacks of it or smells of it, you know?
I think one thing, and I think, Robert, I think one of the things that become very interesting on that is, I think that there's this gobbledygook of you're going to get fed what is, here, have some. You're going to get fed what they want you to have. And I think if you're prudent and you're wise to that, you watch anything and you go, why are they feeding that to me? Why is it always, you know, you're going to make a definitive statement like, well, no one's proved there's any fraud. It's a definitive statement. I'm not sure they have or not. I know this: if they did, you wouldn't tell me, right? If you walked into, you know, Podunk City and found 5 boxes of ballads that were stuffed in a car, you're not going to tell me. And you know, you're going to go like, prove that you did that. You know that we're all corrupt. Prove it. I don't have to prove it. I know you're corrupt because I can watch the stupid stuff you put on TV. And I think those are the things that you're going to have. Now, wait a second.
All right.
Let me see something. There we go. I did move on. So I think that there's elements of do we, when we're sitting here talking and we're addressing it, I do think there's that part where we editorialize, like, you know, we don't see that. Now, if he'd got up there and bumbled and stumbled or saying stupid, it would be all over the joint. You know,
here's what the liberals are going to say is here's what they have to say. Okay. One is that he is trying to save his ass from the second impeachment. That's one factor of it. And secondarily, which I think is more true, is that is his re-election campaign for 2024. That's his announcement right there. This is what he could have been, should have been, and would have been, but for whatever he's going to say. But
and here's what's interesting. I think that's one of the reasons that the impeachment's so big. I think that's even why you have Republicans doing it, is because you don't see them in a position where they want this guy to ever run again. They do not want to ever face this force again. Right. And they don't want to ever be in a position where they have to battle him. You know, it's interesting, and we're here on you know, doing our little Zoom thing, and we're on, but you know, I've done a couple of videos today, and you're going to see more of me than you do Joe Biden.
Right.
You're never going to see him.
Yeah, you'll never see him.
He's in his basement somewhere eating pudding. Okay.
Right.
He's a Biden. You know, and you're going to get a lot of that in the next 4 years. You're not going to see him. He's just going to be, you know, out there plagiarizing stuff like he always does.
Right.
That is, he out there plagiarizing somebody's speech, which is, I got him in trouble before. Right. I think that there's a weird part of him that I think, you know, it's weird because he's vice president for 8 years.
Yeah.
He's been involved in government since the day he was born. You know, he climbed out of the womb and was giving pamphlets out. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet, if you tell most people, look, he got himself in trouble in college for plagiarizing. He's a liar. I mean, he got caught lying about plagiarizing. Then he runs for president and he gets ran off of the campaign trail because stand by, he's a plagiarizer, liar. Right. And lied about it. Yeah, you're gonna have people watch this video going, they're just saying that because they like Donald Trump. No, he's a liar and a plagiarizer.
Yeah, right.
Google's, check it out. You know?
But here's the thing about our current electoral process or our election cycle is that they have divided us so much.
Right.
And when I say they, and it's not just the liberal media, I think it's all the media, all the mainstream.
No, it's all the media. Dividing us is important.
Yeah. So they've divided us on racism.
Right.
They've divided us on economic grounds. They've divided us on educational grounds. And that's not really what America is or what it stands for. And they are insulting 75 or however many ended up voting for Trump.
Right.
Just like Clinton did, which is probably why she lost her election when what'd she call them, the
deplorables.
The deplorables, right? So the left wing media and some of the others are just about think that 75 million Americans are racist, bigots, you know, Nazis.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way that they are portraying it. And where do we go from there?
Yeah.
Because that's half of the electorate. I mean, just by a hair, right. Biden eked it out, which he should have won by a landslide.
Yeah. If all of that was true. You know?
Exactly.
I think one thing, and I think you have to be cautious how you say it, because I'm not sure exactly how much profanity I'm going to use while we're in here.
Yeah.
But certain words are off limits. But this is a good part for me to address that. Do not ever underestimate how much people don't care.
Exactly
They
right.
don't give a damn.
Yeah.
They're not racist. You know what? They're not racist, but they don't care. You got
Right.
problems. They got problems. Everybody's got problems. They don't
Right.
care. And as a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, whether it's racism, it's the inequities in school, you name all the major problems. They don't care. They don't care. It's not that they're racist. They don't care. Like you're sitting there watching a football game and somebody goes, we need to. They never hear what you need to do because they go, click. And you're out. You're out. Click. They don't care. Okay.
Right.
I think that there is a part of America that is generated in the base sense of their finances. So I'm watching a football game and, player comes on and goes, we need to talk about the problem. Click. Because they don't pay their bills.
Right.
They don't care. They got 2 kids. They're trying to get things done. Their boss is a jerk, right?
Well, they forget who the customer is. For a football player to take a knee, he has every right to do that.
Right.
But Americans can change the channel, and they can not buy their paraphernalia that the NFL sells.
Right.
They can do all kinds of things that basically football. Although I'm an avid, or I used to be an avid NFL fan, is escapism
No,
from the
it is. It's
realities
all
of life. So, I don't say anything against what's Kaepernick's, reason to take a knee. He has he's right. I mean, he's right about the black man's plight in America.
Right.
But you got to pick your forum, right?
Yeah, but it don't mean that 75 million Americans have to care, and it don't make them bad people. That's where we
doesn't
split.
make them racist. It doesn't make them bigots. It doesn't make them any of it.
There, people will split. They'll go, well, no, I don't have to care. 75 million, 100 million, whatever the entire population of America, they do not care.
Right.
Look, when we care, it's beautiful. I mean, I used to do food drives and toy drives and all sorts of things to make sure that people got what they needed during the holidays and hard times, right?
Right.
And our country is incredibly generous. And the reason I love these generous people, and I love them, is because they were surrounded by people who did not care.
Right.
They're not bad people. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah. The funny thing is that doesn't sell papers. Blood sells papers, and division sells papers.
And I think the other thing too, and I'll be honest with you, and we're going to sit here and be on YouTube. I think you're also one of the reasons you have the divide. It's not as much politics as it is money. I don't think the average person watches TV anymore. Not in the traditional sense that your dad did or we did when we were kids, right? Yeah. Joe Blow is sitting there and he's not turning on ESPN like he used to. It's a funny story, and I'm not to get too lost into it, but I'm a Dodger fan, and they play a lot of times late at night. I'm at that age where sometimes in the middle of the night I have to get them and go to the bathroom. Check my phone to see what time it is, and there is the highlights for the game and the score sitting on my phone.